AI is really stupid sometimes, and when it comes down to it, we all think that we can train AI and make it better, but I think the perfect person to be talking to AI is AI itself. So in this video, I asked Claude, hey, Claude Code, can you take these stupid things that Claude Code did and can you make it better? Can you learn from yourself? Or have we reached that level of AGI yet? Well, why don't we take a look? Thanks so much to Bento for sponsoring this video. More on them later. I can't really take credit for this whole idea of telling Claude Code to make Claude Code better because it came from John Nolan, the creator and CEO of Ghost. He wrote, I find that Claude Code planning mode is only useful for really small tasks. For larger tasks, what's working better for me? Ask Claude to make a plan in a markdown file, then promptly take that Claude out back and shoot it. Spin up a new Claude and tell it, previous agent, made plan.md. Please review this plan in detail and call out anything that appears to be over-engineering needlessly for what should be a simple, robust system. Okay, does this work? Well, I actually dove in and did this. I tried this with an application, and I just want to see, okay, what things did it actually say these were good ideas and these were bad? Does it make itself better? Does it make the application better? All right, before we even get into the actual plan segment of planning out an application, this is just the initial /init, creating a Claude.md for these applications. Now, the far left over here is the one that I did not have it kill itself and then make itself better. The middle one, it just did it once, and then the last one is a couple of times. But these Claude.md files aren't even the same. So this just shows you that there is so much variance when it comes to AI. These Claude.mds are taking the exact same application structure, a React Laravel inertia starter kit, but it has 3 different ways of telling itself, hey, this is how we should use this particular application. Of course, it still has a similar structure, but like I said, it is not specifically identical. All right, we're not going to read through every single plan that these Claudes kind of compiled together, whether they're making themselves better or just kind of building right from the get-go. But in the description, you'll find the GitHub repos for each one of these applications: Votetastic, Votetastic Better, and Votetastic Best. So just to recap, here's what happened. The first one, Votetastic, far left way over here. This one, I just ran /init, and then after /init, I ran the prompt to create this plan. Here's what that prompt looked like. I want to create a plan for building out this application. This will be a plan.md file in order to prepare and structure application. It's a voting application. Users can create new polls, much like a Twitch poll, where it's only open for a certain length of time. Should probably be real time with something like Laravel Reaper in order to see votes flood in. Of course, users don't have to be logged in to vote, but they shouldn't be able to vote more than once on a particular poll. Let's just create the plan, and then we can move on to building the application. Now, even before I show the results of each one of these plans and kind of what I gathered from each one of these instances of what I did for each particular one, I want to note that this isn't necessarily how I would build an application using Claude. Usually, instead of just generating the starter kit for Laravel, I would probably start to install the packages that I need, as well as put some models together and migrations, so that way it knows a good basis on how I would normally run things if I was building it myself. Giving it a blank canvas is a lot more prone to make mistakes, especially within Laravel, but I think really for any application. Well, I gave the first one just that prompt without even quitting out of Claude after that /init. I gave the second one that prompt and then said, hey, let's make this better, using that same prompt that John Nolan wrote here. I had to review that plan, make notes on what it would change, and then save those notes to this plan-review file. For this one, it's interesting that it kind of paired back, but it didn't really pair back that much. It's like, hey, we're over-engineering this, and the databases could have some bloat. But in reality, it was the same kind of result that the initial plan.md created. I think it just tried to make itself seem that, hey, let's actually just make this a lot simpler. But in reality, it just stretched kind of out that phase out. So if we go back to that initial plan.md that then changed, it still had most of the same core features that we see on the initial one. voting system, and even probably more, but it kind of stretched it out into how it was going to build out these phases. And so 4 phases, and this says 4 weeks. I had to build this out in literally an hour. All right, and then this last one, Votetastic Best is what I called it. I went a little overboard in how I could make AI make itself better. So I basically pitched Claude versus Gemini in order to create the initial plan.md, and then I did this prompt of, hey, this is what the LLM came up with, and then you made some changes, so why don't we try to simplify this even more? So I pitched Claude versus Gemini. I basically told it that, hey, an inferior LLM is trying to create this project. Why don't you, the better LLM, make a plan? Let's see what it said. I gave it the initial claude.md file that we saw right out the gate, and then I gave it the same prompt that I gave the other projects. I then took that plan.md file that it gave me, I put it into that project, and then ran the same prompt that I had Votetastic Better run of, hey, an LLM created this. Can we simplify this and make it better, i.e. this John O'Nolan prompt. So it reviewed it and marked down those notes in the review and then updated the plan.md. But this was essentially Claude created the initialization of the project, and then Gemini creating a plan, then Claude kind of reviewing that and making that plan better, and then a new Claude implementing it. So I don't know, we're kind of at like this 3 levels of AI making itself better. Now, before we even get into the results of how the code looked and what that final project actually looked like, why don't you let me know in the comments which one you think did best? Before we see if you're right, why don't we hear from our sponsor for today's video?
All right, and send. Perfect. All right, user number 6 just signed up. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. We need to get this drip campaign out the door for new sign up.
Hey, what are you doing?
Who else is going to send these emails? Every single minute I need to watch to make sure my users are signed up so that I can get them emails as promptly as possible. So I got timers.
I could just use Bento. They have workflows and triggers specifically meant for those kind of automations.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Seriously, Bento is fantastic, even if you only use a small part of it like I do. My favorite feature, being able to automate my email flows, saying once something happens in my code, and of course there's SDKs for literally everything, I can say I want to wait a certain number of time and then I want to send or this email or start this campaign. It just makes the things I want to do within my application easier, and it makes it better for my users because I don't have to bother them as much as I would otherwise, because all the automation's built in and flexible for my use cases. So seriously, try Bento, let them know Josh Siri sent you, and get started with it today. All right, now here's the surprise. The wild thing is that both Votetastic and Votetastic Better kind of came up with crap code at the end of the day. It wasn't really good Laravel code, and we can kind of take a look here. So let me take a look at Votetastic. Taking a look at the initial Votetastic app, it kept things simple and then kind of failed off the deep end when it tried to implement reverb and real-time events. Now, like I said, this isn't a great example of how AI can work, especially within a Laravel application, because usually I would tell it, hey, use these MCP servers, make sure you're using updated Laravel code. I didn't give it anything other than what it initialized with. The controllers look fine. Most of the models, for the most part, look fine. It didn't do anything incredibly crazy, but the application just didn't work. And by that, I mean it doesn't work the way it says it should work. For example, if I was to create a new poll and for some reason it logs me out, even though it shouldn't, I can then create a new poll like favorite pizza. And we'll go ahead and add some options, pineapple and maybe barbecue chicken. Creating the poll allows me to cast a vote, but there is no real-time stuff. So pineapple just kind of stalls. And of course, this and every single application that was generated from all of these plans, I did have to troubleshoot. There was nothing that worked right out the gate. I've already voted on this poll, but we have no votes. Refreshing does initialize that vote. The second one, the one where we took Claude out back, shot it, and then started again, it did a little better in the sense of it was a lot quicker to create the application, a little bit less mistakes, but the biggest thing that I had an issue with was how it generated the actual controllers. If we go to HTTP controllers, it started to go off of this API controller, which we're using in inertia, so we don't necessarily need API. So I don't know necessarily where that kind of came play. This one had less issues out the gate than the first one that we saw, at least in order to get it something up and running. But the real-time reverb initialization still doesn't work. So if I was to go into the main dashboard and log in, we have some polls. I'm going to create a new poll. Now, casting a vote adds the vote, but we don't see anything with this. And then if I was to open this up in a new browser, you would expect to automatically see some updates when I make this vote. So Pineapple, submit, and no votes on Pineapple. Pineapple has one vote. If I was to refresh this page, we do see that vote. Out of each three versions, I would say this is probably the messiest code that was generated. And now the best one, and also probably the most surprising, because I kind of pitted two LLMs against one another, and then it came up with something great. This was the most pared down version because it said, hey, we're not even going to try to implement reverb. I think here, where did it say? Simple real-time updates. It also tried to do it within like 1 hour. It said like specific. It was a lot shorter of a time frame than the other things. Here, what we're not building: Laravel reverb, complex broadcasting events, queue workers. Even though I gave it that as a prompt, it cut it down drastically. It's, hey, that stupid LLM doesn't know what it's talking about. We're going to make this simple. But it created an MVP that actually works. Again, while this didn't nail it out of the box, there were still some things that I had to copy and paste error messages to say, hey, this isn't working. I just wanted to get each one to a state where I can actually log in and then create a poll and vote on it. And this is exactly what this one did. Now, it does have some issues where you can vote multiple times. I already voted for this one, but it's still allowing me to vote again. And you can see here that we have polling versus the reverb events, but it still works great. Logging in to create my own new poll works fantastic. And I didn't have any issues with the actual implementation. The code is probably the cleanest of all of the code. We have app controllers that just look fine. We have a vote controller, a poll controller, and then a dashboard controller to actually show those poll options. And all of this looks the cleanest, and it's probably the closest to what I would write within a Laravel application. Of course, the JavaScript across every single application is rather clean and is rather concise because it is Shad CN, it is React. It's things that most people use for the most part, but there were some inertia-specific features that every application didn't pick up as great. For example, it doesn't use the inertia way of polling. That is a lot cleaner, a lot simpler. Instead, it just uses a use effect in order to fetch data from an API for the results, which again works, but not the way I would write it. So how many of you got it right? Were you expecting the one that we did, do some back and forth with different LLMs and then cut it down quite a lot? Or was it kind of the middle of the road that you expected to do better? And again, the code of the middle of the road one was surprisingly the least clean, least Laravel-like, and it could have had different effect if I did start it the right way. I also ran out of Claude Opus credits before we started building. So the plans themselves that you'll see in the repos, those are using Claude Opus for all of them, but it was Claude Sonnet that kind of implemented those plans across each repo. But I think we got an answer. You can use AI to make AI better, and AI also gets a little jealous. So maybe that's really the lesson that we learned. Just tell AI that, hey, another AI is better, and then you might get some better results as you're building. So yeah, keep creating.